Hello and a warm welcome. This is Luntha TV News, bringing you clarity and a nurturing spirit that builds up our society and our church. From Pope Leo XIV reinforcing diplomatic ties in Rome, Malawi's parliament preparing to convene, embracing its fresh democratic mandate, and the Reserve Bank's move to quell fears of a kwacha devaluation. We have these headlines and more. Stay with us. Pope Leo XIV strengthens Vatican-Italy relations in first official visit to Quirinal Palace. Reserve Bank of Malawi rules out kwacha devaluation amid renewed donor confidence. Parliament set to host a new cohort of legislators. In news from the SADC region, Madagascar president flees the country amid nationwide protests. And now we give you the news in detail. We start with news from the Vatican, where Pope Leo XIV paid an official visit to Italian President Sergio Mattarella at the Quirinal Palace in Rome today, marking his first visit to the presidential residence since the start of his pontificate on May 8th. The meeting was a reciprocal gesture following President Mattarella's visit to the Vatican on June 6th, and it underscored the strong diplomatic ties between the Holy See and the Italian Republic. Cherit Chilanga reading a Vatican News report.
Upon his arrival, the Pope was received with full honors. Both the Italian and Vatican anthems were performed in the Quirinal's courtyard, and President Mattarella personally welcomed the American pontiff. The Pope was accompanied by senior Vatican officials, including Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Vatican Secretary of State, Cardinal Matteo Zuppi, President of the Italian Bishops' Conference, and Bishop Baldassare Reina, the Pope's vicar in Rome. The meeting also brought together top Italian leaders, among them Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and other senior government officials. A large-scale security operation was staged along with the Pope's route from Piazza Pio XII on the border between Vatican City and Italy to the Quirinal Palace, once a papal residence before 1870. According to the Vatican News, this encounter was the third meeting between Pope Leo XIV and President Mattarella since the beginning of their pontificate. It reflects continued cooperation and dialogue between the two states on shared concerns such as peace, social justice, and humanitarian challenges. The visit highlights the Pope's commitment to strengthening relations with Italy while promoting unity and collaboration on pressing global issues.
The Reserve Bank of Malawi has dismissed speculations of an impending devaluation of the kwacha, saying the central bank has no plans to adjust the currency's value. This assurance comes as the Minister of Finance has renewed confidence from the country's development partners. Speaking during a media briefing, RBM Governor McDonald Mafuta Male said there is currently no justification for devaluing the kwacha, emphasizing that the central bank remains committed to maintaining macroeconomic stability. Emmanuel Chiwocha reports.
Mwale warned commercial banks and other financial institutions against engaging in practices that fuel activities on the parallel foreign exchange market. He cautioned that RBM will not tolerate any form of malpractices that distorts the foreign exchange market. Mwale further urged authorized dealer banks to release foreign exchange responsibly to ease pressure on the market, adding that transparency in forex allocation remains key to restoring stability and confidence in the system.
We have seen an increase in foreign exchange inflows, and we project this trend to continue into the foreseeable future. We expect banks to avoid malpractices that would fuel parallel market FX activities, which have got a lot of implications on the prices in Malawi, on the inflation in Malawi.
According to the RBM's August 2025 monthly economic review, Malawi imports gather stood at 2.1 months, well below the 3.9 months recommended by international financial institutions for credit-consecrated economies such as Malawi. In May 2022, the Reserve Bank implemented a 27% devaluation of the kwacha in an effort to align the official exchange rate with the parallel market. Currently, the kwacha is trading between 3,500 and 4,500 per US dollar on the parallel market, while the official rate prescribed by the central bank stand at 1,751 kwacha per dollar.
Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Higher Education, Dr. Levi Enea, has praised UNICAF University for its role in advancing online education, noting that the university is supporting government efforts to broaden access to higher learning across Malawi. He highlighted that the government is prioritizing digital education as a strategy to develop more skilled graduates who can contribute to the Malawi 2063 vision. The Principal Secretary made these remarks during the 2025 UNICAF University graduation ceremony held in Lilongwe. More in our report filed by Gift Kalonga.
Dr. Levis Enea applauded UNICAF University for supporting government efforts in promoting online learning, saying the approach is key to expanding access to higher education and achieving the Malawi 2063 vision. He said the government is encouraging institutions of higher learning to embrace digital education as a fast and effective way of training more people to contribute to national development. Dr. Enea added that online learning is a critical step towards building human capital that can drive the country's priority areas under Malawi 2063.
I must begin by saying I'm very, very happy with what UNICAF is doing and implementing. It is actually implementing the government policy because as government we are encouraging and expanding online education because that's the only way that we can train more people in order for us to build human capital for this country that is going to implement the government dreams and the government priority areas. And as you know, we are implementing the Malawi 2063, and for us to implement the Malawi 2063, it requires a lot of people that are trained at higher level in higher education.
Meanwhile, UNICAF University Chancellor Professor John Karengasaka hailed the graduates, saying higher education plays a vital role in empowering individuals to think critically and contribute meaningfully to society. He said about 30% of this year's graduates are female, which shows positive progress in gender inclusion.
The number is over 600 and about 30% of whom are females. The purpose of higher education, particularly university education, is to capacitate individuals to utilize their brain power to think about issues, problems in their society, and that after bachelor's degree or master's, and in this regard also doctoral studies, it means.
One of the graduates, Harold Montari, who obtained a master's in business administration, described the program as enriching, saying the modules have equipped him with management skills applicable across various organizations. This year's graduation ceremony was held under the theme of Educate, Elevate, and Empower Without Borders. For Luntha News, this is Gift Kalonga.
Health expert George Jobe has strongly condemned the rising theft of manhole covers in Blantyre, describing it as a serious public health and safety threat that demands urgent action from authorities and citizens alike. He said the stolen covers have left open manholes, some as deep as 2.5 meters, posing deadly risks to pedestrians, motorists, and cyclists, while exposing untreated sewage that could trigger outbreaks of cholera and other waterborne diseases. Jobe said such acts of vandalism show lack of patriotism and love for fellow citizens as they endanger lives and sabotage essential infrastructure meant to save the public. More in our report filed by Judith Organ.
In an interview, health expert George Jobe said Mahan is deeply concerned by the growing trend of manhole theft in Blantyre and has called for urgent measures to curb the problem. He said protecting public infrastructure is key to safeguarding community health and ensuring safe living environments. Jobe commended Blantyre City Council for its efforts to replace the stolen covers, noting that about 40 new covers had been installed in recent weeks, although vandals have already destroyed many of them. He said only 15 covers remain intact, calling these a worrying setback that demands more innovative solutions such as cement or composite covers that are harder to steal.
As Malawi Health Equity Network, we're concerned about reported rising theft of manhole covers in Blantyre, which is a serious threat to public health and safety. The theft of manhole covers is not only criminal, but also a direct threat to public health and safety.
The health expert urged scrap metal dealers to stop buying stolen materials and report suspicious transactions to the police, saying such cooperation is crucial in stopping vandalism. He also appealed to the Malawi Police Service to intensify surveillance and arrest and encourage the media and public to continue exposing and reporting acts that threaten public safety. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Judith Organ.
In case you're just joining us, this is Luntha TV News and I'm Kathy Matura. Before we proceed, here is a recap of the news making the headlines at this hour. Pope Leo XIV strengthens Vatican-Italy relations in first official visit to Quirinal Palace. Reserve Bank of Malawi rules out kwacha devaluation amid renewed donor confidence. Parliament set to host a new cohort of legislators. In news from the SADC region, Madagascar president flees the country amid nationwide protests. Moving on, the Parliament has demonstrated readiness to take the baton and move forward with the democratic process, which has given a fresh mandate to its 224 members. A visit by Luntha Television to the August House on Tuesday afternoon was met with an overwhelming display of preparedness. Members of Parliament are expected to arrive in the capital city starting Friday. From the Parliament building, Robert Edward explains.
This is Parliament, the August House as it is called, always majestic and prepared to host the next cohort of members of Parliament who have been duly elected in the democratic process, just like what we saw in this country on 16th September 2025. Now, 224 members of Parliament are expected to arrive in the capital, Lilongwe, on 17th. From 18th, they will come here for registration. And that week is going to lead into another week where there will be orientations, and then they will come here for swearing in ceremony. From my left, up there coming down, there will be the new speaker who is going to be elected on the 29th of October. And now, in the chamber, this is where the deliberations are going to be taking place, as it has been the case always. Now, if you're able to see, that's the big seat. It is highly contentious for people to occupy that particular seat. Currently, in this country, we have heard different political parties expressing or fielding their candidates to contest for that speakership seat. Interestingly, this time around, with the government changing, this side, which is the government side, now is going to change its occupant. The Malawi Congress Party, whose members of parliament, the ministers, we are staying there, and now this time around they will be on this left side. Now this is the opposition side. The testament that democracy is about the people has been seen on 16th September, when the regime has changed. Those who have occupied different positions, especially the members of parliament, and those who are going to be appointed as ministers or deputy ministers, this is going to be their home, to make the laws, to make representation, and provide oversight. For Luntha, this is Robert Edward.
Director of the World Ganzen Foundation, Kees de Jong, has praised the progress of the EcoStar School project in Malawi, highlighting the initiative's impact on education within the Archdiocese of Lilongwe. The commendation came during a visit to Chiwota Full Primary School in Kabudula, Lilongwe District, where the project's efforts to improve learning facilities and support students were being showcased. De Jong reaffirmed the Foundation's commitment to continuing support for educational development programs in the country. Patrick Cooper has more in this report.
The EcoStar initiative has been actively driving educational and developmental programs across the Archdiocese of Lilongwe, aiming to improve learning outcomes and promote sustainability in local communities. During the visit, De Jong and the EcoStar team toured several project sites, including Chiwota Full Primary School in Kabudula, Lilongwe District. Key interventions showcased during the tour included the school laws and policies, classroom development, the piggery project, vegetable gardens, and woodlot management, all designed to enhance education while supporting community livelihoods.
The EcoStar School, and it was very impressive to me, because we can discuss who owns the school. Is it the government, or is it the diocese, or is it the head teacher or the teachers, or is it the parents and the pupils? So at this school there's much more dominance of parents and children. So the children, for example, they have a children's council, and they report, for example, when there is bullying around among children, or when there is teacher absenteeism, and they have to find a way to report this.
The educational coordinator for the Catholic Archdiocese of Lilongwe, Chris Emiti, has urged the school to take good care of the project.
Chiwota School has just been introduced into EcoStar project, and the way it is doing its things, we are satisfied, because in some schools, if we can go to maybe some schools in Salu, we are going to find that even the pigs, they are still 3, but here we have 11, and even the woodlot is very encouraging. We have seen that the mbawa trees, there are 50. In some schools we find that there are only a few which are surviving.
On his part, head teacher of Chiwota Full Primary School, Edwin Chimwendo, expressed gratitude to the donors for visiting the project and acknowledged the support of Lilongwe Archdiocese Education Department in facilitating the initiative.
This project, EcoStar micro project, has brought good impact to our school. You know, as I have already said in Shewa, we have pig farming, woodlot, vegetable garden. They also encourage us to have eco codes, loans. So all these are helping our school to run smoothly.
According to Case De Jong, the EcoStar School project, implemented in collaboration with the Lilongwe Archdiocese Education Department, demonstrates a strong commitment to improving educational quality and promoting sustainability in Malawi. For Luntha News, this is Patrick Pupa.
In news from Madagascar, the African country which currently holds the South African Development Community SADC chairmanship, the President Andre Rajoelina has fled the country for his safety amid ongoing nationwide protests that erupted late last month. In a live address on Facebook on Monday, Rajoelina confirmed that he had moved to a secure location following widespread reports and speculation that he had flown out of Madagascar on Sunday. We have an Al Jazeera report read by Charit Chilanga.
President Andre Rajoelina had planned to deliver a television address on Monday afternoon, but the speech was postponed after his office reported on Facebook that a group of armed forces threatened to take control of the state-owned media. French President Emmanuel Macron voiced concern over the crisis in Madagascar, his country's former colony, where the United Nations reports that at least 22 people have died in crashes between protesters and security forces. Speaking from a summit in Egypt, Macron declined to confirm whether France had assisted Rajoelina's evacuation. According to a military source cited by Reuters, Rajoelina left Madagascar on Sunday aboard a French Mikasa aircraft after being transported to Saint-Marie Airport by helicopter. His departure followed the defection of army units on Saturday, which Rajoelina condemned as an attempt to seize power illegally and by force. Hours later, the army's allied CAPSAT unit, which played a key role in Rajoelina's rise to power during the 2009 coup, announced it had taken control of the country's military. Earlier, the unit had declared it would refuse orders to shoot at demonstrators. The protests, which began on September 25th over water and power shortages, have since expanded to broader grievances, including the rising cost of living, poverty, and alleged government corruption, with many calling for Rajoelina's resignation. On Monday, hundreds of protesters alongside some soldiers and security personnel gathered outside Antananarivo's city hall, waving flags and chanting slogans.
That Al Jazeera report read by Charit Chilanga on the political turmoil in Madagascar, a nation at a constitutional crossroads, brings us to the end of this bulletin. But before I go, here's a recap of the headlines. Pope Leo XIV strengthens Vatican-Italy relations in first official visit to Quirinal Palace. Reserve Bank of Malawi rules out kwacha devaluation amid renewed donor confidence. Parliament set to host a new cohort of legislators. In news from the SADC region, Madagascar president flees the country amid nationwide protests. As we prepare to honor all mothers tomorrow, let us be inspired by the day's stories, from the Holy Father's commitment to building bridges in Rome to our own Parliament's readiness to build our nation's future. May we all embrace the same vocation of service and love. On behalf of the entire team at Luntha TV, I wish you a blessed and joyful Mother's Day. I'm Kathy Matura. Goodbye for now.